Namaskar, hello, and once again a very warm welcome to this 5-hour, 5-day online training on cyber parenting. My name is Tanvi Khurana, and this entire training has been organized by CIET, that is Central Institute of Educational Technology, NCRT, New Delhi. This theme, cyber parenting, is extremely important, not just for all the teachers, for all the students, but for parents as well. So I really hope that you have registered yourself till now. This training started on 4th of December, and today is the 5th day and the last day of this entire training. Today's particular topic is smart parenting, effective monitoring and surveillance. So far, we have discussed generational perspectives in cyber parenting on day 1, where we discussed the generational gaps that we have seen from 1970s till date. And there are so many generations, and the parenting styles are so different. The second day, we discussed types of parenting styles in this digital age, which is not at all easy. So there are types and there are styles, and parents really need to be very, very careful. On day 3, we discussed the challenges and problems in cyber parenting, the problems and challenges that parents deal with every day, and they have to take care, they have to take precautions, they have to keep on monitoring the situation at home with their children, and a lot more is happening in this digital age. Day 4, that was yesterday, we discussed the interventions and strategies for effective cyber parenting. Well, if there are problems and challenges, then there has to be solutions and strategies and methods to resolve those problems. So those were discussed yesterday, and today we are going to discuss smart parenting, the effective monitoring and surveillance. We have an expert with us, and she'll be more than happy to answer all your doubts, all your queries. If you have any questions related to this particular topic or related to this particular theme, that is cyber parenting, please reach out to us. You're watching us at this moment on eVIDYA channel number 6 to channel number 12, and also on our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. In the live chat box, write down your questions, your queries regarding this chapter, and reach out to us. Apart from this, if you want to give us a call, the number would be 8800440559. And there's a specific email ID through which you can connect with us, not just during this program, but later on as well, and even before the program, anytime, whatever time suits you. And that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. It's being flashed on your screens as well, so please note it down very, very carefully. Apart from this, registration is mandatory, so please go ahead and register yourself. Today the quiz link will be released after the session, and I'll be showing you the entire web page and explaining you each and every step towards the end of this session. So please watch this entire program, and now let me please have the honor to introduce our guest for today, and she is Dr. Jasbir Kaur Thadani. Now, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you for you so that you joined today. You were able to take out time and you joined us today. Ma'am is an assistant professor from School of Criminology and Behavioral Sciences from Rashtriya Raksha University. So let's begin with this conversation on smart parenting, and let me please ask ma'am, what is the theme or what is the aim or focus of this entire session? What are we going to discuss in this particular program that is going to be beneficial for all our viewers? Ma'am.
Ma'am, we are going to talk about the smart parenting, where we'll not just discuss the strategies, but we are going to talk about the effective ways how we can monitor and have a clear communication with the kids. I'll also be discussing few psychological theories in brief, as in 2 to 3 lines, and the practical application of those theories. And some questions I'll be suggesting to parents, that these kind of question conversation they can have with the children, or the teachers can have with their students, to talk and know more about their cyber safety. So this is the focus of this
That's great, ma'am.
session.
So shall we begin?
Yes, ma'am, please. Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about smart parenting, effective monitoring and surveillance. Yesterday you must have discussed the strategies and known the strategies in detail. Today we are going to talk about how we can actually navigate the conversation, the practical application of some of the psychological theories. The prevalence, I'll just quickly read through the prevalence of technology in children's life. Even if we say today, if I or you were to say that we should avoid internet, that's just almost impossible in today's times. It's just not possible to ignore the elephant in the room. It has become a very important part of our daily routine lives, whether it's children, parents, teachers, everybody. So we cannot avoid technology's use, but what we need is the parents to adapt to the new change and actively participate in children's digital experience. When we say actively participating, we'll be discussing in detail how parents and teachers can actively participate in that. And the focus should be on the effective monitoring and surveillance for cyberspace. And we need to take care that it should not come as invading their privacy, in the children's privacy, or imposing some kind of restriction on them, but as an understandable contract with our own children. So I'm going to briefly talk about different methods of doing it. For example, there's something called parental control apps. I have mentioned few of the apps names in the upcoming slides, that what kind of parental control apps you can use. What those apps basically do is they give us the bare minimum exposure to our children, and the kind of required exposure, for example, their homework, their assignment, and knowledge, and the updates of countries and across world. These kind of exposure and entertainment, fun entertainment they can have, but not the kind of content we wouldn't wish our children to get the exposure of. The open communication, social media tracking, device usage tracking, applying psychological therapies. These are the main things we are going to discuss step by step. Before we begin towards these strategies, I just want everybody to understand the important thing to consider is the ensuring that the children understand the purpose of monitoring is to protect and not to invade. First thing we can discuss with our kids is setting boundaries. Now, what do we mean by boundaries? Establishing clear guidelines for online behavior. When I say clear, we mean exactly in terms of what kind of website we can go, and with the names and examples showing the children that these are the kind of content which can be harmful to you. This may seem tempting, but we need to understand that we're not supposed to go and explore at this stage. You may explore it at the later stage, but not right now. And clear guidelines, even when we say the limited screen timings, we need to be very clear in that. And I'll also talk about that how our own behavior is going to impact our children's guidelines, the boundaries. Setting clear boundaries can be very difficult because we as humans have tendency to cross the boundary and come back again and again. So the boundary crossing becomes so many times that it actually becomes, the boundary becomes blur, that okay, this is something I can do, I cannot do. If we as parents set up clear boundaries, then we also need to follow that. Discussing the importance of open communication and trust. Now, what happens is when we say open communication, we as parents need to be mature and stable, emotionally stable enough to respond to the difficult situation. What happens is psychologically, if we are scared, most of the time our fear comes out as anger. So internally, I could be scared, I could feel helpless as a parent, but my external reaction could be anger. And the child will not understand this fear or helplessness or hurt. The child will only see the anger. So we need to discuss the importance of open communication, that why and how it is important that we talk and discuss how's our online experience, along with our own availability for this open communication for children. And then encouraging responsible digital citizenship. Why I've talked about this part is why I want to talk about this responsible digital citizenship is that sometimes our own children can also participate in online bullying, as in to victimize another kid. But we need to tell them that how it is important for us to understand what online digital responsible citizenship means. For example, not trolling anyone else, not taking in someone else trolling, but also not becoming the active person to troll someone else or to bully anyone else. I'll talk about practical applications of psychological theory. So one of the theories is attachment theory by John Bowlby. What this theory says is that a secure emotional bond enhances a child's sense of security and exploration. Now, this theory talks about that the children can have a secure attachment and insecure attachment, and a combination of that as well, that the person always remains in that question or confusion mode, whether I'm important to people, I'm not, whether I should be asking for more attention, maybe not. These kind of questions usually come when we haven't had the secure attachment throughout our childhood. So this theory suggests that if we are constantly available, emotionally available for our children, with that stability, that our own fears or our own emotional disturbance are not being downloaded on children, then we'll be able to provide them a safe space. See, if we provide a safe space to our children in person, they will know what is safe space everywhere, whether it's digital or personal or professional, anywhere. If a child is aware, that child has experienced that, this doesn't seem right, the child will know that there's something wrong and I should be discussing it with somebody. I should be talking to my parents or the trusted people. So, this theory says that we need to foster a secure parent child attachment by being emotionally available. The important thing you need to understand is that the emotional availability need to be consistent. For example, it shouldn't happen that at one point of time I'm available for my child, and after 2 days I get scared that what kind of email my child has received, or what kind of personal messages this kid is receiving, and I get angry on my child. I yell at my child that why did you respond to this person? Why did you do that? This is only going to tell that child that you're not safe. You're not always safe. It totally depends on parents' mood. So the consistency is the key in providing that secure and safe attachment, the safe environment. If we provide that safe attachment, safe environment to our kids in person, online they are going to demand for that kind of environment. So this is one theory, attachment theory. The next is behavioral theory. The theory is by B.F. Skinner. What Skinner says is he emphasizes the role of reinforcement in shaping behavior. This theory is all about that if you want to encourage, reinforce a kind of behavior, a particular behavior, you give some kind of reward to a person. For example, if a kid is limited to the screen time, or if a kid is following what was discussed or agreed upon for a digital online safe experience, if the kid is following and talking about it, then that behavior should be rewarded, because we want to encourage that behavior. And if there is something which the kind of behavior you want to discourage, then you should be, as the theory says, there should be some punishment. But what you can do is you can have a verbal discussion and say that I want to discourage that behavior. Then having a clear confrontation, that helps. What do we mean by constructive confrontation here? By that, we ensure that we are not blaming the person, we are not blaming the child, but we are communicating how it can be risky for that child, for us as a family, as a person. That kind of communication induces a sense of responsibility in the child rather than sense of guilt or shame. We need to continuously encourage this behavior when you're not inducing sense of fear, sense of shame, or sense of guilt, but we are encouraging sense of responsibility in the child. See, Carl Rogers therapy, it says that every human being has this basic intelligence to understand what is right, what is wrong for us. And children are the best psychologists in that case, because they are clear with other emotional baggages, so they will sense it quickly. They will sense it that something is wrong. The only gap is that they don't know whom to approach, because they are not sure if I'll be held out, I'll be yelled at. So what happens is, if we do not provide that environment, even the child has that gut feeling that something is wrong, the kid will not reach out to us. And hence, the behavioral therapy says that you need to encourage and discourage the kind of behavior you want to, inculcate in the child. Use positive reinforcement for desired behavior and set clear expectations. I'm repeatedly talking about clear expectations, because if we talk about blurred boundaries, the child is going to be confused and is going to make their own theories to move ahead in life. In attachment therapy, there is another term called responsive parenting. I'm giving one example as a toddler in cyber parenting as well, that a toddler is upset after a challenging day at preschool. Applying attachment theory, a parent responds promptly, providing comfort and reassurance. This fosters a secure attachment as a child learns that their caregiver is a reliable source of support in times of distress. The similar pattern applies in the cyber parenting role. For example, a child has recently seen something which has made that kid uncomfortable, or somebody has approached the kid and the kid felt uncomfortable, or maybe there's some threatening message or mail. The child is going to be confused, and the first question is going to be, whom should I approach? Probably, did I do something wrong? Probably I'll be punished for this. So these kind of questions will always come till that child reaches to an age of an adult. Even adults have these questions. But what happens is, if the child is given that constant responsive parenting approach, the children will learn to accept that situation, and a decision will be there to fight the situation, that okay, I have to take support from the reliable people and I will be fighting here. So this is called responsive parenting in cyber safe parenting. Consistent presence, and I'm again emphasizing the same role here. Example, a teenager faces difficulty in school. Applying attachment therapy, a parent maintains consistent emotional presence, actively engaging in discussions about the challenges. Now, what happens is, we always have this picture of our children, that no, no, my child will not do this. No, no, my child cannot get into these things. No, my child will not go towards these kind of websites. But the reality is, the kids will go to those websites which we feel they'll not, because it's an age of exploration, because psychologically, hormonally, they will have so many questions, and they will also have peers discussing these things, and they feel FOMO, that this is a psychological cyber term, FOMO, fear of missing out. They will feel that I'm missing out on something important, so I should be exploring these areas, and they will explore. Not only they will explore, but if you prohibit them completely, that you're not supposed to do this, this will encourage more, this will inculcate more curiosity in them. If you try to impose something on them to kill their curiosity, they'll be like more prompt to try. Let me try, what is it about? It's a kind of rebellious behavior in teenage especially comes out. But if the children are aware that I can try under the guidance or with the supervision of my parents, and even if I do something wrong and go back to my parents, they will support me, they will understand, they will not judge me. Because it's very important that we give them unconditional acceptance. What do we mean by unconditional acceptance? Unconditional acceptance is that we accept the person as they are. We accept their flaws, we accept the kind of exploration, curiosity, and questions and conflict with each age stage we'll have, the person will have, but we'll constantly giving positive and constructive feedback to that person. By constructive parenting, constructive communication, I don't mean that we accept everything. We do not reject the person, we reject the behavior with a constructive and productive feedback. Another is this Feijer's cognitive development theory. What I'll also show you the stages of this. This theory suggests that every stage we have a different cognitive development process, and what happens is this. So you see, this is the stage and this is the age range, and what happens at this age. So if we move towards the formal operational, which I feel will be more appropriate age here, 11 years and older, then the theoretical, hypothetical, and counterfactual thinking works here. Abstract logic and reasoning, strategy, and planning becomes possible. See, each and every stage tells us that what kind of cognitive process, cognitive development happens. For example, sensory motor, 0 to 2 years old, coordination of senses with motor responses. Now, I'll not get into much technical terms here, but to summarize here, to tell you that at every age, there's a different method to communicate, because the cognitive process is different. At formal operational stage, what happens is we need to give reasoning, hypothetical situations, and the facts and the counter facts. And this kind of reasoning, strategy, and planning works after 11 years. How we can apply this very tailored communication to the child's cognitive level and encourage age appropriate decision making. What is age appropriate decision making? For example, at the age of 14 years, you have seen the child is watching porn, and the question, the kind of conversation you would want to have the kid, that you cannot say that no, you cannot watch it, but you can say that I understand you will have these queries, these questions, and you will have the curiosity, but there are safe ways to explore about it, and there are psychoeducational and sexual education courses about it, and healthy talks about it, and there are people you can have conversations about it. But these websites can be very risky, and how it can be risky, you can give them practical examples of these. Maybe showing some news articles related to that also helps. These are some of the tools, the parent control tools and apps. Net Nanny, you can just note down these apps. Net Nanny, Not in Family, and Studio. What happens is in these through these apps with children, you can also discuss and then use it, that we are going to use these parental control apps. So to avoid the impulsive behavior we have, sometimes what happens is a child is going through a website and they say that if you pay this much, we'll be able to provide you exposure of XYZ areas, and the children also try to pay through their credit cards, parents credit cards, parents other methods of online digital, because it's very much possible that you can pay from your parents, passwords are saved and they can actually do the online payments, and children are very smart to do that. So to avoid these kind of impulsive behavior and to also avoid the impulsive exploratory stage, it's important to use some parental control apps, but I would highly recommend to discuss it with the kids and then use it. Educating children, I'm not talking about imposing something, but educating them helps. Teaching children about online safety. How can we teach our children about online safety? By doing the reverse theory, about teaching them the kind of damage and harm they can do to themselves, other children, and the people around them, and their family, the society. How individual persons one click can go to that extent. These kind of examples, live examples with news, with healthy awareness social sites, they can tell them. And encouraging responsible social media use. How is that possible? It is only possible if we as adults do that. See, if a child is looking at their parents posting very personal pictures, if a child is looking at their parents posting a very personal information and not worrying about these things, the child is going to follow that method and do the same exact thing, because the children don't go by the words, they only go by the role modeling. No matter which age we are, children follow the role modeling method. And discussing the potential consequences of inappropriate online behavior. Discussing is one side, but showing them relevant videos or awareness channels and news, that really helps. Or also there are people who have given the testimonies, who are put online, that they say how they were put into the most vulnerable situation, how children are the most vulnerable targets. Those videos, testimonies helps to understand the children that what extent it can be damaging. I'm going to discuss certain points which you can discuss with your children. Discuss the importance of adjusting privacy setting and social media platforms and other online accounts to control who can see their information. Now, when we say discuss, you actually need to sit with your children and show them how to do it. And you can only do it when you have practiced it for yourself. If your child is looking at you, that there's a question that accept all cookies, there's a pop-up says accept all cookies, and you accept it without giving it a second thought, then the child is going to follow that. Help your child understand the risks of connecting with strangers online and discuss the importance of not accepting friend requests from unfamiliar individuals. Now, again, when our children see that if there's a random person and we don't even know that person, children notice that. Children notice that it is okay to accept anyone's request, because they cannot see us, we cannot see them, it's online, but they do not understand the risk they are creating for themselves. But if, as parents, if we keep doing that, it's going to encourage us children indirectly that you can also do it, it's acceptable. What you can do is you can continuously discuss and sit with your child when they are using the social media, that yes, okay, you can do it, but let's just talk about the kind of friends you have, the kind of friend requests you have. What should you do if you get a request from a stranger, and why there's a stranger person in your friends, your followers, and why are you following this particular person? Why do you have, why, what kind of conversation you are having with that person? So sitting with your child when they are using social media or any other websites, it helps. Discussing in a non-judgmental way. Discussing is one side, but discussing in a non-judgmental way. For example, the child is saying that, I don't know, I just found this account very attractive, and that Instagram account has adult content, then you can discuss about it, that okay, so this is the temptation. What if this person contacts you? What if this person sends you an uncomfortable photo of their private parts? What would you do in that case? So let's say the child hasn't received such photos yet, but if they know that, oh, my parent had discussed about it, talked about it, then they would know, oh, maybe I can discuss with them, maybe I can talk to them, because the ground is already set, that my parents know this can happen, I know this can happen, now this situation has actually come, what should I do? They will approach parents. I'm going to discuss few questions you can ask to your children about online safety. These questions you can actually apply and start asking them on an everyday basis, that what are your favorite websites or apps? This question helps you understand where your child spends time online and allows you to assess the safety of those platforms. You may or may not want to uh, create that kind of barrier for them for each and every website, but yeah, you want to know where they are spending most of their times and what is their curiosity level, where they are inclined these days. Have you, the next question would be, have you ever seen something online that made you feel uncomfortable? I would recommend to even break down this term uncomfortable. Children will not have that kind of vocabulary to explain you that what was wrong. They may only come up with the things like something is wrong, something was uncomfortable. They will not have this kind of vocabulary. You'll have to give them vocabulary. For example, did it make you feel unsafe? Did it make you feel angry? Did it make you feel hurt? Disturbed? What was it? Did you make it feel vulnerable? Did you feel like crying? Did you feel like screaming? What was it? You need to give them words to understand how they're actually feeling. They could feel scared also. That will be the prime emotions for them. Encourage your child to share any experience that may have had them uncomfortable so you can address concern and provide guidance. Next question, do you know how to block or report someone online? Ensure your child is aware of tools available to them for handling uncomfortable situations, such as blocking, reporting inappropriate content for individuals. You sit with them and teach them that how to block this, what information should you never share online, you keep asking them, so tell me what kind of information you should never share online. Reinforce the importance of not sharing personal information. I'm again saying that if we as parents share that kind of information, the children are going to share the same thing. They will not follow what we say, they're going to follow what we do, such as full name, address, school name, phone number, online password. We shouldn't share that. So how do you choose a strong and unique passwords? Keep discussing. This might seem as a very small, teeny, tiny thing, but it's very important that we talk to our children that what kind of password you should choose and how you should make a combination of certain areas and like small letters, and then the numbers and why should we do that? What is the reason behind that? Have you ever witnessed cyberbullying and how would you handle it? I mean, when you ask this question, you need to talk to them. What is cyberbullying? If a child has discussed these things, they would have this in their memory, their knowledge, their acknowledgement that, okay, somebody is threatening, somebody is bullying, somebody is giving these kind of words. This is called cyberbullying. When we know that, we'll try to talk to people or try and search online, or maybe we'll discuss with parents or trusted people that somebody is trying to do this thing with me. But before children reach to that level, We need to encourage the discussion, talk about it. The best way would be giving your own examples. It's very difficult to believe that we wouldn't have had any example of experience of cyberbullying and sell that some or the other time some people do comment or send DMs or do a kind of inappropriate activity. If you have any such experience, do share with them, and also how did you handle it. And if you could not handle it, you could discuss that I did a mistake, I could not handle it, but this is the right way to handle it. And now I'm with you if you wish to go ahead and discuss more about it. How much time you spend online each day. Discussing the time screen time helps parents understand their child's online habit and allows for a conversation about setting healthy boundaries. Now, children may feel they may not understand the terminology called addiction, the terminology called the need for validation. Now, if I'm uploading something online, I'm getting validation, which is prime thing at teenage, during teenage years. It kind of ensures my sense of self-worth. It kind of enhances my self-esteem. Even saying few empathetic lines to another friend or fellow stranger, I may feel that, oh, I'm helping somebody, I'm being able to do something for someone. It's a very good feeling when we are on the role of a giver. So even in these ways we engage and spend more time online, and we don't realize that we are disconnected world just to seek validation. And when we are seeking validation, it's very difficult to set the boundaries, whether it's healthy validation or unhealthy validation. What would you do if you accidentally clicked on something inappropriate? Now, these are things we don't wish to think. As parents, you'd said, no, this won't happen. But it's important that we discuss these things very clearly. That encourage openness by discussing potential accidents online and help your child understand that it's essential to talk to you if they encounter anything inappropriate. Now, you might also want to discuss with them and talk to them and tell them in detail what do we mean by inappropriate. And if possible, talk in your own language, the kind of routine language we speak at home, that what is inappropriate, and not just the digital terminologies, but in every possible manner, that this is what you may feel, and these kind of emails can come and people can send such images or photos or messages, what you should do. And have you ever faced that? If not, what if something like that happens? You should come and talk to us. Do you know what is phishing is? How can you recognize it? And then how can we create a family agreement or set of rules for online use? See, I've used the term family agreement. That means establishing guidelines for online behavior. This means the whole family will follow that. If we say screen time, then everybody will follow that. If we say that we have to be careful about online safety, everybody will follow that. If we say that we need to discuss if we had any kind of experience which wasn't comfortable, we need to discuss it. We may say that your children, we may not discuss our own negative experience, but we would encourage you to share it with the adults, can share in themselves. Uh, I don't really recommend direct instruction to children, but I've still put up a slide that at any point of time you feel the child is very young and is not understanding the conversation we are trying to have, the kind of boundaries we're trying to set. This is the kind of direct instruction for children you can set, that follow the family rules and those set by the internet service provider. You can actually talk to them in detail about each and every rule. Never post or trade personal pictures. Never reveal personal information such as address, phone number, or school name or location. Use only a screen name and do not share passwords other than with parents. Never agree to get together in person with anyone met online without parents' approval or supervision. Never respond to a threatening email, message, post, or text. Always tell a parent or other trusted adults about any communication or conversation that was scary or hurtful. You could add more emotions as well, that you find somebody very attractive. You could talk to your parents about that as well. Now, that's only possible when parents are emotionally available and consistent and non-judgment about the situation. We may get very personal. We may feel that we are not good parents, and the sense of failures will manifest as an anger. That anger again is going to discourage the children to discuss further risk with us. These are some direct instructions I discussed. This is a line from a theory. The theory is not logo theory. This is a very important line. See, anything you want to encourage, whether it's children, adults, or anyone, logotherapy says that if we know why, we will figure out how. So if your child knows why they have to do this, why they have to take care of their online screen time, why they have to be very, you know, they have to be very careful while sharing personal information, why they need to talk about their online experiences with parents. If they know why they have to do it, they will find out how they have to do it. This is very important part, and this is it from my side. And I thank you very much all, and I'll encourage questions from your side.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for the entire
Thank you very much.
presentation. And it was interesting to know about smart parenting, because these days all the parents, they are very concerned about what their children are hooking, what they are watching on the YouTube channels and on the social media platforms and each and everything. Ma'am, we have a question from one of our viewers. So may I? So, Chandrika
Yes, ma'am.
Srinivasan, she is asking, ma'am, do you think that the parents would have a list of permissible websites for children?
It will be very difficult because websites keep getting updated, and the hacking is very much possible for anyone. Let's say somebody wants to spread the online content, adult content, it's very much possible to hack and infuse the kind of content we don't want. What will be better is, see, what you're asking is to control the external factors. And I'm recommending that the external factors can be controlled to a very little less extent, but we need to encourage to control from within, to train and educate our children and we also need to be updated. So we remain updated to that extent that we can help our children to remain safe. If we keep doing behavior which is going to create online threat for us, our children are going to follow that. So rather than having such websites, resources, I would encourage that we remain updated ourselves and help our children to identify what is safe, what is not.
Okay, all right, ma'am. And what do you think, at what age the parents should tell their children what to look for and what not to look for?
I think if you look at this age, and 7, 8 years should be fine to begin with, to
Okay.
talk about what they can watch. For example, if they are, it's very easy for children to access Instagram Reels and YouTube, Reels, and what they YouTube Short. What they can do is, while they are scrolling, they can tell them that, this is the kind of content. If you see, you should just skip it, or maybe sit with us. We'll tell you what kind of content you can watch. But accidentally something like this comes, you just need to skip it, scroll it, and you should watch more of rhymes, poems, education, and funny videos, etc. So 6, 7 years is, in today's time, is the right age, I think so.
Okay, okay. Now, so these days, both the parents are usually working and they have their own opinions and perspectives and styles. So, what if both the parents don't agree on something, and one tells the child that he should watch this, and the other tells that he should not watch this? What happens then?
See, in that case, see, what is the harm if the person doesn't watch it? The kid is not allowed to watch. The exposure will be little late. That is the only harm we are causing. But if we allow to watch something which shouldn't be watched, then we are creating more damage. So the ideal thing should be, there should be a parental agreement where both the parents, for everything, not just the digital parenting, they can come to a midpoint. If not, then they should always go for something which is less risky, less damaging. It is okay to give exposure at a later stage. If one parent is saying they should watch it, that means they are definitely thinking that this should be encouraging part, but this will give a proper exposure. But it is okay to give exposure a little late, but online safety is more important.
Absolutely. So online safety is more important, like you said, and there are so many scams happening these days,
Yeah.
and different types of scams we see each and every day, and they are growing with each moment. So, ma'am, in this case, do you think that the parents should give their pins or the credit card numbers to the children so that they can buy stuff online? Is it permissible?
Actually, no. It
Okay.
shouldn't even be saved. The passwords and other areas should not be even saved online, their phones or their PCs or their laptops, because it's very easy for children to do online payments. We take pride sometimes saying that my 10 years old can order from Amazon, but it's very risky, actually very risky. Um, Not in terms of finance part, cyber part, but it can be a traumatic incident for that child himself and herself, that what did I do. So the lex exposure is okay. If both parents are working, then also we feel that, oh, it's we should give more exposure to our children, we should give more independence to our children. But we need to understand it is okay if the kid is learning to order from Amazon at later stage at 16, 15, 17, and that we should not give that kind of power to that children, which can create threat to the child himself or herself. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. We would like to ask you any advice, any suggestion for all the parents who have children at home and they are constantly worried about what their children are watching, ma'am.
Ma'am, as I said in my presentation as well, throughout my lecture, and I'm a practicing person for that as well. So I'm saying the same thing, emphasizing the role modeling behavior. If we are practicing something which we are continuously scrolling through the Instagram or other reels or YouTube shorts, our children are watching us. They will not follow what we are saying, they will only follow what we are doing. And also, if we are spending money without any thought, and that this also gives our children that it is okay to take irresponsible behavior, it is okay to take a responsible decision. Now that a responsible decision can be anything, that the kid sees that I am doing anything without giving a second thought, the child will apply that method everywhere. They will not just apply that method while spending money, they will apply it everywhere. And when they see us talking to strangers online, now how do we know, how do they know that they're strangers? We don't know. They are watching us, they are watching us, they are taking these hints that it's okay to talk to strangers, give these many details. And when we meet some people and say that, oh, I saw your photograph and I saw that person's photograph, we discuss it, we talk about third person, we barely know, we just talk about those people. Our children are learning to stalk, our children are learning that it is okay to do these kind of behavior. I'm continuously emphasizing we should create that kind of role model where our children follow that, and our children understand by our behavior that this is safe and this is unsafe.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all the information that you gave us. And we have got a lot of compliments for you that the entire session was very informative. It was nice and it was interesting as well. So, thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part of our program today. It was wonderful having you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you to all the viewers as well for being a part. We discussed smart parenting, effective monitoring and surveillance. I really hope that this information is really going to help all the parents who have children at home and they are worried about what their children are watching on various social media platforms or websites or gamings and each and everything. So just take a few precautions and take ma'am's advice for sure. So you'll be you'll be safe and your child will also be safe. So this was our 5-day training, and we are here itself ending the 5-day 5-hour training on cyber parenting. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Let me please show you quickly that how you can register yourself if you haven't done that yet. This is the home page of CIET. Once you type CIET on any of your browsers, this would be the first page. And you can see the menu bar in the activities section. Please click on it. The last section is a workshop/training. Once you click on it and scroll it a little further, here you can see the current activity, which is online training on cyber parenting. Please click on it. A new page will open And here it's all the information regarding cyber parenting has been mentioned, that what is the objective of this entire theme, and the schedule has been mentioned from day 1, that is 4th of December, till today, that is 5th day, 8th of December. So why cyber parenting is important, why are we conducting this kind of program, and the schedule in detail is given here. Once you scroll it down, here is the main important part. You can scan this QR code and register yourself, or click on this link and fill in the details. Please make sure that you are writing the correct spellings of your names and other details, because this will help in the certificate. And here comes the link of our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. Once you click on it, all the 5 sessions that have been done in this training, you can watch them connectingly and simultaneously. So this is going to help you with all the questions that will be in the quiz. And if you scroll it here, this is the quiz link. You can see that it has been uploaded. The link will be uploaded here at 6 o'clock, today at 6 o'clock. So another 1 hour or so and the quiz will be here. You can appear in that quiz, and if you score more than 70% marks, you will be given a participation certificate. The closing date is 29th of December. That means approximately 20 days you have to be a part of this quiz. So here comes the feedback form. Please scan this QR code or click on this link and you can give us your feedback. Any feedback, any suggestion, any advice that you have for us, any topic that you want us to take in our upcoming training, then you can do that. Please write to us and we'll be more than happy to take all your suggestions. After that, here is the specific email ID, which is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in, and also our phone number. So all the information has been given on this particular website. Please watch it later on. You can be a part of the quiz, and all the very best. I really hope that you all are going to score more than 70% and you will be given the participation certificate. But I would request you to please allow us 30 days of time to prepare those certificates, because there's a lot of work which the entire team does. So thank you so much once again, and here is the end of this entire training. The upcoming next session is also a very special session called Sahyog, Guidance for Mental Well-being of the Children, and the title that would be discussed would be Building Bridges of Compassion, Exploration of Pro-Social Behavior in Schools. All the very best, and please keep your questions ready. Before leaving, just want to remind you once again that the textbooks for the new academic session 2023-2024 are available throughout the country now. So you can buy them directly from the sales counter. The timings of the sales counter are 9:30 to 6 p.m. and they are located in New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Guwahati and Bangalore. So either you can buy it directly from the sales counter, or you can sit at your home, place an order with the help of the website, that is ncrtbooks.ncrt.gov.in, and you will be getting the books at your doorstep. You don't have to pay any delivery charge at all. Apart from this, if you simply want to read from the soft copy or the PDF version, you can download the PDF version from the ePathshala, Diksha and NCRT's website and their mobile applications. So this entire process is very, very simple. I really hope that you're going to buy these textbooks very, very soon and start studying as well. With this, I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'll take a leave of you. I really hope that you have a great evening ahead. Please stay happy and stay healthy. Thank you. Namaskar.